All right.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. So, bro, what have you been watching or doing throughout the week? How's your week been?
My week has been pretty chill. This week I've been telling you to watch this show probably so many times, but I've been watching Severance nonstop. I binged season one in probably 4 days, 3 days, and season one was pretty awesome. I think I haven't really watched like a quote unquote real TV show in a while, like that's not animated. So this is
Uh-huh.
like my first experience watching like a pretty cool plot like unfold, and it was really interesting um watching it.
Is this
And
one also done by Apple TV?
yeah, this one's Apple TV. And
Damn.
I told you Ben Stiller's a director. I'm like, Ben Stiller's a director. I still can't believe that every time I'm watching it. I'm like, I didn't
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know Ben Stiller was like that. So I'm still like
I,
in
I was
shock.
happy to hear that when you told me because I just watched Zoolander, and growing up I didn't realize how like prevalent he was in the comedy world. So after I watched Zoolander, I was like, what has this guy been up to? Like, did he just dip? Like, is he just gone? Is he not gonna make any more movies? Just like what happened with Jim Carrey. Like they kind of just stop and you wonder where they go. And he made a return. So when you told
Yeah.
me he was directing that, I'm like, okay, at least he's still in the industry, you know, contributing, doing what he loves versus like my career's over. They're
Because he
too
he had a
it's
bunch
too
of
woke.
early 2000 movies, and then yeah, you don't
Yeah,
really
he
hear
was
about him. I think the
yeah,
only
he was
movie I know him
huge.
is Dodgeball, and then
Madagascar.
yeah, Madagascar, and is he not the museum one?
Yeah, Night at the
Yeah,
Museum, Meet
Night
the
at the Museum.
Fockers, Royal
Yeah.
Tenenbaums. He has so many good movies.
Yeah, so he's directing Severance, and so I gave myself a couple more days, and it just so happened that this show at this exact time, also season two was dropping after like 3 years. So
That's the best.
I was like, oh, perfect time to start watching, bro. Like, because so I gave myself like, oh my god, and this is where I messed up. I gave myself like 3 to 4 days before I started season two, just to like process everything, and
Yeah.
and then I go, and then on Apple TV, it shows you like 4 episodes are out, And I was like, oh, I have 4 episodes. Like, this is awesome, right? So I watched one episode one night, and I'm like, okay, I'll save the rest for another night. And then the next night, I'm like, okay, I have 3 more episodes. And then I go to watch episode two. I'm like, oh my gosh, fine. Oh, like, because episode two talks a lot about what happened in the last season. And then I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, episode three, let's go. And then it's like, oh, this one will be out next week. I'm like, what? And so it's like it shows you all the episodes that are gonna come out at the same time versus like,
Uh,
just having the two. So I was like, no. I was like so red. Like I had my whole night plan to watch, those 2 episodes. And I was like, well,
yeah.
this sucks. So now I'm on a weekly show, you know, with that one. So that's what I've been watching this week. That's what I've been grinding. And
I'm
yeah,
gonna start that one. I swear I'm gonna start that one soon.
I know, because you told me right now, what are you watching? Because I know there's a reason you don't want to watch that show.
So, my wife, I got her to hop on the Superman train because my whole family has like
You have a
we're
wife?
obsessed with the
Okay, okay. What are you guys
yeah.
obsessed with?
We're obsessed with like Christopher Reeves, Superman growing up. We're huge Superman fans, and so
Yeah.
the finale of Superman and Lois happened, and after that, I was like, I never got to watch Smallville. That's like a high school drama show of Superman when he was in high school, and I never got to watch it, and so I recommended it to my wife since she loved Superman and Lois so much, and there's 24 episodes like per season. They're each like 45 minutes long,
Damn.
and we're already on season three, ready to get into like season four because we have been like binging. It's so freaking good. Like it just expands so much on the characters that kind of come off as a little bit two dimensional in some interpretation. So like every time you see Lex Luthor, he has like a complex like a inferiority complex when it comes to Superman. You know, like he wants to prove that he's better than him. He wants to beat him. He can't stand him, and you kind of get it because he's a businessman and all that. But you never ever really have seen in live action like his story with his father and his how he was raised, how he turned out that way. So he's my favorite character in the whole show because it shows how he actually tries to do the right thing, right? But every single time he trusts someone, that person has like an ulterior motive because he's a rich guy and they're constantly like backstabbing him. And so every single time it's just self-defense, but at the same time he's like, he has to get them back in kind of the same, like, he has to backstab them or become a backstabber in order to survive. And so you basically see how he just learns that he's a survivor. So like he doesn't let anyone get the upper hand on him. And like there's this one scene where this guy is trying to blackmail him for money, and then he straight up tells him after he hands him the envelope, like, yeah, hope you have fun, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to do anything with that money. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he tells him, like, I have connections. I can change who you are. I can change your name. You won't even have a social security by the time you get out the front door. And then the guy's like, oh, sure you can. And then he tells him, check your bank account. And then he checks it and he's like, where is it? And he legit has no bank account anymore. And so you're thinking like, that's kind of effed up. At the same time, he's doing it to people who are constantly blackmailing him, backstabbing him. And so you like root for him so hard, but at the same time, this path is going to lead to him being like morally corrupt, So like you get it, you understand him, but at the same time, you're like, damn, I just wish you don't have to become a villain because really people just keep backstabbing you.
That's like the Anakin story.
Exactly. He ends up just he feels like he has to become dark or evil in order to protect himself and the people around him.
And that's sad because that's also, if you want to get super deep, bro, that's like the real world, Like, you're just a product of your environments, and so that's why you gotta have grace with people because you never really know what they've been through. So like, you see Lex Luthor in all these movies, you're quick to hate on him, whatever. But then you watch a show like that, you're like, oh, okay, I understand why. What happened.
Exactly. You can start to sympathize with that character because you're just like, if I was in your position, I would literally do the same exact thing. Like, you got to do what you got to do to survive.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Not everyone grows up like Clark Kent in a perfect family where both your parents love you and teach you good morals and all that stuff. Like Lex even has his father constantly backstabbing him constantly. Like, bro, there's this one scene that made my jaw drop because his dad shows up and Lex is taking care of this plant in Smallville, and he's brought it from the ground up, and he's like had to be super successful, and his dad's the head of the company. So his dad shows up and he's going to make a big announcement to all the employees. And so right when he shows up, Lex Luthor tells him, he's like, hey, make sure you give them some thanks because these people have been working their butts off for this. They deserve it. And then his father's like, I'm sure they do. I'll make sure to do that. And then he shows up. He's like, I would like to thank you all. And he gives them their thanks. He's like, I would like to thank you all for your hard work. But due to management, this plant is now being shut down. Thank you. Bye. And then he dips. What? And so everyone blames Luthor. And he's like, you don't belong here, son. I need you in Metropolis. This plant was never for you. Who cares about these people? And then he's like, I do. Like, I was working so hard. And then he's like, no, you belong in Metropolis. And so again, he's even working against his own dad constantly. And he's just such a sympathetic, complex character. Like, I've never seen Lex Luthor portrayed in such a complex way. He's just very well written.
Does Superman have like the suit in that show, or is this like nothing to do with Superman?
No, so it actually has a lot to do with him because it's all about him discovering who he is. Because when he shows up, he doesn't know where he's from. He doesn't even know what powers he's supposed to have. So like, one day he starts for some reason seeing through walls, and he gets like freaked out and he doesn't know what's going on. So
Oh,
his story is also extremely interesting because for the most part he's supposed to be normal, you know?
yeah.
And all this responsibility, finding out you're an alien, you don't even belong here, people are attacking you, they want your blood, all this crap. So his story is also pretty much just as interesting.
All right. Might check it out. Watch an episode. But that's an older show,
Super
right?
good.
Like 19s.
Yeah, it was like early 2000s, which also makes it a comfort show because every single song they pick is like Radiohead, Green Day, like just all these super classic early 2000s songs. So it's just like a comfort show. It feels like I'm time traveling every time we put it on.
Nice.
Some of the best Superman content out there. But besides that, we got a movie to review
Yes, we
to talk
do.
about. What's the movie?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you guys have all been waiting for. We're going to talk about the 2024 Madam Web movie. This movie had an $80 million budget, so I guess not the highest amongst, superhero movies that you see nowadays. And it only made 100 mil box office, so I guess during its whole run. So I guess people say that's a flop. I guess if you don't make back more, like double, three times what you invested, and then it's kind of not that good of a movie. So I guess it bombed. And I guess one reason maybe that people didn't really like it might be due to the fact that this director it was her first time ever directing a movie. And so her
Really?
name
First
is
time ever.
CJ Clark, and she's like a UK person, so it's like
S.J. Clarkson, I think. S.J. Clarkson.
Clarkson. Sorry, Clarkson, if you're listening. Didn't mean to mess up your name. Um,
Bro, poor woman.
dude,
I just feel bad for her.
it's like I don't want to say UK and America culture stuff. They're kind of different, but they're kind of different. Like what might be good over there maybe doesn't transfer over so good. So poor lady, it was her first big movie that she's ever done, and her name will be remembered forever, but maybe not in a good way. But getting into the movie though, right away off the rip, bro. I thought the the guy character was like the funniest character in the whole movie. The villain guy, the
Yeah.
the I don't know.
Evil Spider Man.
Yeah, because yeah, evil Spider-Man, literally. Because like in the beginning, they just like they start the exposition scene, and then right away I call you within like the first 10-15 minutes of watching this movie because I'm like, bro, please tell me I'm not like smoking something because this guy is not, his mouth does not match the what he's saying. I'm like, do you see
It
this?
doesn't. You could hear it in the recording too. You're like, okay, his who he's acting with is on set, but his voice is not on set.
Yeah.
His voice is in a booth, bro. Like it's so bad.
So yeah, he's in a booth. His mouth is like they're not even trying to recreate what he was saying at that moment. They're completely changing what he said in that moment. And you could tell by just how bad the voice doesn't even sync up to the mouth, how
I
hard
know.
they try to not show him. Like they'll cut away to the most obscure part of like just like the character like reacting, and they're still reacting for like 30 seconds when like if maybe he
Yeah.
was talking, they'd pan back to him. So I just thought his character was so funny every time. Like I was like, let's see how his dialogue does not line up. And I felt like was it a different voice actor? I don't know if it was or if it was actually him, because
Like if they got him to just redo his lines or someone else to do his
yeah,
voice.
because it sounded just so like aggressive. I'm like
Yeah.
that.
You need to search harder on the computer.
I'm telling you now. Like I was like, dude, that was cringe. So but he's kind of what helped I don't know, me at least get through the movie because every time I would get to him it would just be a
He was entertainingly bad.
yeah, he was a good, funny entertaining bad. Other stuff not funny entertainment bad. It was cringe. I was actually like cringing kind of hard. Like my one thing that I was like the three girls. because
Uh-huh.
they're all like 25. I think Sydney Sweeney's like 28, you know? And like
Yeah,
they're playing
yeah.
these like freaking high school girls. Like they should have like
That was the age difference was noticeable to you?
especially like seeing a character like Sydney Sweeney that, she plays like some pretty promiscuous roles and she's had some
Yeah.
big shows and like me and Kaylin, we like the show Euphoria. And so we've
Uh-huh.
seen that show for like 3 seasons, I think. And so we've seen her in like a very adult show as a teenager, and then how she's acting
Yeah.
the same age allegedly that she would maybe be in that show. Like a weird character. I was like, it was what's it called when you're out of the scene? It was not immersive. It was
Mm.
I got out.
It took you out of
Yeah,
it.
I got out of the scene every time. So that was probably my one thing that I was like, yeah,
I feel like I felt the same way. Like I may not have like attributed to those reasons, but I did feel something off with like their chemistry. I'm just like, there's something off about this ragtag team of girls where it's just, it didn't feel believable, you know? Like there's something about it that just didn't connect at all. I think it was the lines, and every
yeah.
single time they're talking, you can tell that they're trying to find any reason for them to tell each other their backstory. Like, I don't have a mom. I don't have a mom. I don't have anywhere to go to. Me neither. And it's like, I don't know. It just felt like nobody actually talks like that. Nobody just willingly starts. I think they even try to be self-aware when they were in the taxi cab. They're like, stop trauma dumping or something like that. I'm like, okay, now you're, I don't know, you're just trying to be too self-aware, but you're doing it anyways, like by committing to having all of them do it again and trauma dump in the hotel room. Like, if you know that was kind of awkward and it doesn't work, I don't know why you would do it for all three of them again afterwards.
Like they're in the at the campfire scene. They're all just like, yeah, I'd never see my parents. Yeah, my dad got sent away too, and I'm like, bro, right now is not the time,
Yeah.
bro, not the time.
Yeah.
And then like,
Speaking,
bro, like at the end, I don't know. I guess they're all besties, right? Like at the end, and I'm like, how are you guys besties? Like with
yeah, like what did y'all connect over
that
exactly?
dance party on top of the table, besties after that, I guess. But like, I was just at the end credit when they're all like friends. I'm like, this doesn't feel like. When did you guys become friends? Is how the ending left me.
I know, right? Okay, okay, hold up. Let's go back to the beginning because I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
What is the main villain's motivation for getting the spider? Why does he need the powers so badly though? Where he's like, "Oh my god, I'm willing to murder pregnant women and go this far because I need it." What is his reason for going that far?
Say just power. I thought he just wanted the power. Like he's like, I heard they can give me strength. I want that strength, and then he he'll kill everyone for that strength, I guess.
But at the same time, it's like, what are you using that strength for? Like, are you using it for more money? Do you like, let's say you're not fighting these women. Are you just like, you just wanted to walk on walls that badly? You know, like what
Yeah.
exactly do you need this extra strength for?
Also, right. This is where I had a with the exact thing you're talking about. He would have to have known about these powers or whatever, and then it was like, okay, I'm willing to go through with this part, right? But when
Yeah.
in a little bit later in the movie, they show the mom's backstory as to why she was there in the first place, and it's not like she had this trip planned. She was just like, oh, my daughter's gonna be born this way. I'm going to Africa or where was it, Amazon or Peru.
Yeah, I think the Amazon. Yeah, the Amazons.
Then she was like, okay, my daughter's gonna get deformed or whatever. I'm gonna go here and find this, right? And then she
Yeah.
assembles a team, and just so happened on her team is that guy that all along wanted those spider powers. And I was like,
Yeah.
what are the odds of that happening? And just so happens that guy gets on the team and is like, okay, I want this power for myself. And I thought that was kind of
I
silly.
know. See, there's so many opportunities in that to bring in an emotional like weight to both of them fighting for it because it's kind of just like one woman wants it because of her daughter and then one guy wants it just because and then he kills her for it. And it's
Yeah.
just like that there's so like I don't know. There's not a lot of substance there. So, like, imagine if you just had both of them on separate teams fighting for it, but this guy had an actual reason. So it's like you don't exactly want the woman or think she deserves it more than this guy, or maybe you give this guy his own son who needs it or whatever,
Yeah.
and that's why he wants the spider because they're both fighting over for it, and you don't know who to root for. Like, you can make it more interesting than what it was, but I feel like that writing is just so like they went with the very first idea. Like whoever first spoke in that writing room, be like, okay, nobody make any changes. That's it.
Dude,
That's what we're going
yeah,
with.
dude, literally because it's like for no reason he's the bad guy, and they're like, yeah, let's just make him the bad guy just
Yeah, he's
because.
bad guy just
Yeah,
because.
he's evil just to be evil. Like he has no reason. He just wanted to be evil right there, and
Exactly. Like, why did he make the suit? Like, he went home. He's like, guys, I walk on walls. I have a great idea for a suit. I need the mask to fit
check me
well.
out, guys. Check me out. Check me out. What do you think about this suit? Huh?
Exactly. And who is he fighting before the girls? Like, why did he have that ready to
Yeah, and did
go?
he become like?
Was he a
Did he
villain?
become like a rich guy with those powers? Like what? How did he? How does he live where he lives and have all that tech and can hire a person in the chair and like what did he do? Like did they ever explain that whether or not he's like a business tycoon? He
No.
just I got these powers. I killed a pregnant lady for them, and because of that, I got
Yeah, I think you're just
rich.
supposed to assume or something, but it's like, what are you using these powers for in your free time? You're clearly rich, so you don't need the money. You're not robbing people. Like, you don't need the money. So what are you just playing around? Like, you're just having fun? Like, what are you doing in your free time with this suit? If you're not fighting these women, what are you doing? I know you're not a vigilante.
I guess like he was having those dreams and he was trying to kill those girls, I guess, which
Yeah.
I still think is a goofy thing, bro. I'm having these dreams and they must be true. I'm gonna just kill them just in case, like
Yeah, I'm gonna murder three teenage girls because I have a dream.
yeah, I already killed a pregnant lady. These girls are nothing. Like
Yeah.
it's just random. Like bro, it was
Yeah.
so like I maybe that's what it was, like no emotional whatever because I was
Yeah. No real
I was
motivation.
tied to nobody. Nobody like the only person I liked was like Uncle Ben, and it's only because Adam Scott was playing him. And
Oh my God. I have so much to say about his scene later in the movie. It made me like that was okay. I'll tell you later, but keep going about Uncle
well,
Ben.
that's like the only character like when he got on screen, I actually locked in and like paid attention to because I liked him, right? And but
Yeah, like he feels more
well,
believable.
yeah, and also he is Adam Scott. I was just watching Severance. I was like, oh, this is a funny time to watch this. So everyone
Yeah.
else, I was like, I don't care about you. Like I literally like you. I have no reason to connect with you, and I didn't really care. But yeah, like you said, like there was just like no emotion involved with nobody. I just felt like I was just watching
Yeah.
like dead stare, just watching stuff. I don't know.
I honestly had trouble pinpointing because I shouldn't do this, but I actually actively avoid movies that like don't have any like claim to their name or anything like that. Like if nobody has anything good to say about it, I'm just like there's no reason for me to watch it. So it felt difficult in a way for a lot of things for me to pinpoint like why am I like I don't hate this, but why is it nothing to me right now? Like,
Yeah.
what is the movie doing? So it actually was kind of a challenge to figure out, like, what exactly is it that makes this not good or just not translate well? And so, one thing as well is I think it leaves so many things like, to let us assume or connect the dots ourselves in things that we shouldn't or that shouldn't have been left blank. So like for one, who took or Casey or Madam Web, whatever her name is, back to America? And then
Yeah.
after she was back in America, who raised her?
Yeah.
Like, does she not have a mom there that she was able to connect with? Like, she just was plopped as a baby and like she did she raise herself, like, because then imagine she's like, oh my god, mom, I miss you so much, and there's some mom out there like, damn, I worked so hard raising you throughout your whole life, and I get no credit whatsoever. I'm not even in the picture.
And they didn't even give her a single backstory, right? And then at the end they try to like hit you with some emotional part where I was like, what? They didn't even mention this. Where when she finally gets to Peru, right, in the later scenes, and she's like,
Yeah.
my mom actually did care about me. And it's like
Yeah.
you never said in the movie that she didn't. You never even hinted to the fact that maybe your mom doesn't love you or and nobody
Yeah, like that
loves
was a chip
you.
on your shoulder. Like,
Yeah.
since when was that a chip on your shoulder?
I like all of a sudden I like it's like boom guys, here's her truth. Like
Yeah.
she felt like this the whole time. Like trust me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
No.
literally was like, what? Where does this sympathy come from? Like I don't know.
Exactly. I felt like they tried to the only way they tried to do it was with her being like they try to show, oh, she's emotionally disconnected, like she doesn't
Okay.
understand that what a picture drawn by a child is. She doesn't get it.
Okay. I get it.
She doesn't know how to function at a baby shower. But I'm like, that's just too vague. You guys are giving us too vague of scenes for us to connect the dots ourselves, which I don't know, makes it feel like you're being
Yeah,
lazy.
she has autism, bro. She's just like me for real, bro. Like
Yeah, she actually is on the spectrum.
yeah,
This character is clearly on the
yeah,
spectrum.
like did the spider people take an airplane back and drop her off?
Yeah, like who did that? Who is in charge of that?
Yeah.
That's actually I feel like that's a valid question because I'm not usually the type to nitpick where I'm like, bro, you could just assume this happened, but I'm like, come on, you gotta explain a little bit, give a little picture or something, like one line.
Yeah,
I don't
this guy
know.
kills everybody, and no one's like going on a search for this lady
Yeah,
that had a
there's
baby.
no police presence like almost whatsoever. Like in the beginning, when the women are standing around, and keep in mind the villain could have just killed all of them right there instead of attacking the cops in the subway, but for some reason he decides to take out the cops first. I think besides that scene, I don't really remember cops or anybody showing up again later
Yeah.
until, I don't know, maybe the helicopter that she called. Like, there's no police presence in this town whatsoever.
If we're talking about like some of the fight scenes, bro, I kind of want to talk about like this is the most plot armor character like I've ever seen. She doesn't know how to use her powers, but like when she needs them, they pop up
When she needs them, they
in the
activate.
most
Yeah.
convenient and like way that she would need them. And this guy, super strength, maybe super speed, and climb on walls, just gets outmaneuvered by four girls who just run away every time. And
If Peter Parker wanted to kill these four women, bro, he would have
they're
done it
gone,
like
bro. No
easily.
chance.
Yeah, they're gone.
Like even if you can see the future, bro, he's at least hitting you when you're running away. Like this guy landed no blows. This is the worst villain ever, bro. Like he did nothing. He didn't even harm nobody, bro. Like at the end of the
Exactly.
day, the character had to like harm herself, like with the fireworks. But even that,
Yeah.
even every scene they showed him, right? Plot armor. Oh, I can see where the girls are at this moment where I need to see where the girls are. She goes, hits him with her car. All right, he just like gives up. Like I guess he gets one tap, like by I don't know. And
Knocked out that easily.
yeah, and then at the end, boom again. Let me drive my car, hit him again because he's in the exact same spot, and gets hit by the freaking ambulance. And then at the end, it's just like, oh, so conveniently, this one thing's gonna fall on him at the end because I saw everything, and I'm basically,
Yeah.
I'm basically Doctor Strange. I saw all of the realities, and I picked the right one. I'm good like that. It was just like crazy plot armor for her and all the girls. So it's like
Yeah.
there's no like, oh, finally the villain's winning. He never won. He got beat every time. Like it was never like, oh, are they gonna die? And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just
He wasn't threatening at all.
yeah, not at all.
I think so. There's this movie that Nicolas Cage starred in, right? It's, I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called Next.
No,
Have you ever heard of it?
have not.
So, so in this movie Next, let me pull up the cast so I can tell you who's in it. Next cast. It has Nicolas Cage, Jessica Biel, Julianne Moore, a couple other people that I don't think are very prevalent. It has Jason Butler, Harner. Okay, but anyways, his ability. This movie, I feel like it's not critically acclaimed, but I watched this when I was younger. This movie is everything that Madam Web should have been because it's about a guy who's a magician, and what he is he can tell the future minutes ahead, right? So constantly throughout the whole movie, the detectives like there's some threat and they end up utilizing him to help fight against this like nuclear threat. But basically through the whole movie, he does it in such a badass way where he's like, I can see into the future, and then somebody won't believe him. He's like, look, this person's gonna walk through the door. That person's gonna trip right there. This person's gonna scream because they stubbed their toe, and like he knows everything that's going on. And then when the woman or whoever he's talking to looks around and see all these events happening exactly as how he predicted, and now he's like got a control over it. He proves who he is, and so through the whole movie, he's also fighting the bad guys in a way. He's like, step to the left, and then boom, and like the bullet will go through there, or he'll say like duck right here. Okay, wait, 30 seconds. Okay, now go, and like he predicts the whole future, but in it feels like it's done in a badass way, and it's kind of feels like they dropped the ball in Madam Web because they could have done so many cool things with that ability, but she barely gets to use it like in the final
Yeah.
scene. And in the beginning, the only way they use it is to be like, doesn't this scare you? Or like, doesn't this scare the main character? Look, you see a death you couldn't stop. And never really I don't know, it's not too often, like maybe on the train it just never felt as cool or badass as it did like it did in that movie Next, where it felt like useful, like extremely useful, you
Yeah,
know.
because he like in that movie, it sounds like he at least had a plan. He's like, okay, this is gonna happen. Let me do this. And then Madam Web is like, okay, I think this is gonna happen. Let's try this. And then they're like scrambling to try to do a certain task, which like felt
Exactly.
so
And then
lucky.
the future's constantly, I don't know, not even happening as she thinks it's gonna happen. So there's no rules. Like this guy's like a rule where it's like almost like, I don't know, 3 minutes exact in the ahead. So he like can time everything and be like meticulous about it. But with her, it's vague. You don't know how far into the future any of her visions
Yeah,
are.
exactly.
You don't know like which ones or like in what order, because sometimes it'll give you like four or five at a time. You're just like, you want me to piece this together? Like I, I don't know. It was just kind of irritating the way it was presented in the film.
They gave us no lore explanation on almost anything. It was just like things are
Yeah,
happening and it will tell you what's going on in the scene, but we're not going to tell you why it's going on or the reason. It's
yeah.
like it's just because.
She's never gonna know how far into the future or anything like that. I wish there was just maybe a little bit more rules so that my dumb ass could I don't know, order the scenes or feel better about all the information that's coming to me, because if you show me a vision of a helicopter, I'm just like, okay, that's gonna happen at some point, but like when, where, do you know? Like I don't know. I don't know.
Something this is like a point that's not on what you were talking about, but about just characters getting paid and how like kind of BS I thought it was. Like, certain characters, maybe aren't gonna get paid the same, and that's cool. But like, I think if you play like a pretty good role in a movie, you should get paid pretty good, right? So
Yeah.
Adam Scott, right? Uh, Uncle Ben, he got paid 100K for this film, right? Not too crazy, but he did play like he was around the whole movie pretty much, and
Yeah.
he kind of helped move the plot forward, right? Pretty good character. Freaking Emma Roberts, bro. She was the pregnant lady. Um, she
Uh-huh.
got paid 800,000 to be in this one, and I was just like, bro. These,
for those like two scenes that she does, or like
yeah, I was
three.
just like, bro, like you're spending 800K on Emma Roberts, that like on a side character. Like, are you just trying to get names to maybe make the movie bigger or something? I was just like, that's a biggest waste of money ever. Like Emma Roberts' character could have been anybody else, and I would have given
Literally.
zero f's about them. But they spent eight
Dude, it
hundred.
wasn't some Oscar. It wasn't some Oscar-worthy performance.
Yeah,
You're like,
I
no,
was
no,
just
no,
like,
only Emma
bro,
Roberts.
yeah, and then the main star, she got paid 5 mil, which I thought she was probably. I didn't really mind her acting. I like her like dry humor.
Yeah,
It was
I don't got nothing against Dakota Johnson.
yeah, she was cool. I've never seen any Dakota Johnson stuff before this, so I thought she was pretty funny in this one.
Yes, you have. Don't
Which
cap.
one? Which one?
Don't cap. It's okay. We all know you've seen 50 Shades of Grey.
Have
You
I?
don't got a cap for the pod. You don't got a cap for the
Have
pod, bro.
I?
You were bragging about it the other
Dang,
day.
bro, on the pod exposing me? Oh my gosh, dude, trust nobody.
That's your that's your favorite movie, bro. Don't lie.
But so, what was your problem with Uncle Ben when I brought it up
Oh,
earlier? Because
okay.
you said,
This pissed me off so much. During his wife's labor
yeah,
scene, right? They call an ambulance for some fucking reason, and then they're like, uh there's not going to be an ambulance here for a while. And they're like, "Oh my god, what do we do?" And they're like, I'm like, "I guess y'all don't have a car cuz it's New York." And he goes, "All right, I guess I'll drive you." I'm like, "What the fuck? Why didn't you take her to the hospital in the first place? Who calls an ambulance as their first reaction?" Everyone who's had a child knows that the quickest way isn't to get someone from the hospital to come pick you up. You go to the hospital yourself. Like, you had a car the whole time. And then you didn't need to take the three children because the only way they get seen
no, yeah. Why the hell did they take those three kids, bro? Like they were safe,
out in the open.
bro, to push the plot forward, I guess. But like they needed no reason to go. Like they were safe in that house. They
Yeah.
never knew that the kids were with Uncle Ben. But he's like, "Oh, you're wanted? Yeah, let me take you out into the streets just in case."
Yeah, exactly. This guy who can find you anywhere, let me take you anywhere, like out in the open and put you in danger because obviously me and this pregnant woman can protect you. Like, we're going to do a great job.
You as a father of two got real angry at that scene, bro. You're like, dude, I would have put them in my car right away. Why are you calling an ambulance, bro? What, are you dumb,
It
bro? Are
actually
you
it
dumb?
actually did. That was the first time in the whole movie where I was like, this is stupid. Like, get in the car. Like, what? Who does that? Like, just get in the fucking car and go. Like, what are you doing?
That's yeah, I really hated that scene just because of the girl part. Like, why are you taking these girls? That that
Yeah.
was
Horrible decisions.
bad scene right there. I thought you were gonna hate the Uncle Ben scene where he said well, I liked it where he was at the end when the baby's born. They say Uncle Ben was happy the baby was born. He said it's like all the fun without the responsibility. And then the Dakota Johnson's character is like,
Oh,
oh, that's what he thinks. Just kind of foreshadowing that they're gonna, you know,
yeah, yeah. And then they said something about some line about responsibility, but that I was trying really hard not to nitpick. Where I'm like, some things can be dumb, but honestly, you know me. Like, if you just direct a scene where it just looks cool, comes across as badass, I'll give you some points.
yeah.
So I was trying so hard not to nitpick, but since they gave me none of that. It literally felt like I had no choice but to be like, okay, I can't even ignore these dumbass decisions because it's all that's there on the front.
Yeah. Oh, one
Disappointing.
final thing that I realized I kind of like this trope that people do in movies, and they did it in this movie, and they also did it in the Sonic 3 movie. It's the trope when like the main character is just watching TV, and just so happen what they're watching like has to do with their like scenario. So in the Sonic
Oh,
in the
uh-huh.
Sonic 3 movie, they show like Shadow's watching something with Maria, and it's like monsters invade or like aliens invade, and Shadow's like, oh my god,
Yeah,
am I a
yeah.
monster? And then I liked it in that movie. that one kind of stood out. So then when I was watching this one, and you know, she was watching TV after she just got her powers. It's like, I can see into the future, ooh, and it's like in that moment when she realizes she can see in the future, and I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I think that's one of my new tropes that I like.
That was the one thing you liked from this movie. Let's try to do that. What's the like? I guess besides
Yeah,
that, what's one thing you say you liked?
I can give you two things. I liked
Okay.
uh the black Spider-Man suit. I mean, as much as I don't like the character, I was like, okay, kind of Spider-Man's in this universe. Like,
Yeah,
this is as
yeah.
close as we'll get. I was like, he was running up some walls. He had to, you know, I was like, okay, I got
He had some
my
scenes.
little, I was itching for some Spider-Man content. That gave, that scratched the itch a little bit. Um, I like that, and then. I was just gonna say Uncle Ben, but I said that earlier, so I'll say it again. I liked Uncle Ben. I like Adam Scott. I'm an Adam Scott stan. So
That's valid. That's very
what,
valid.
what?
He's great in pretty much everything he does.
Yeah. What did you like? What stood out to you from this marvelous film, bro?
If I'm being honest, literally the only thing where I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. There's this one shot when he's chasing them in the city at the end, and he like slams against a building, and then he starts running sideways on the building or like on the windows. The way that looked, I was like, okay, that looked cool.
That
Those three
shot they
seconds.
ate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all were cooking right there.
Okay, nice. That's valid. That's valid. See, guys, like there's always good things there's always diamond in the rust somewhere. Like,
Yeah, there was like 3 seconds in this. It actually went by fast for me. I don't know
yeah.
about for you, but this movie felt so short. Like it went by very fast.
Yeah. Yeah, when I got to the end fight scene, I was like, "Oh, we're here already. This is the
Yeah,
final battle, I guess." Like I was
like that diner scene happens pretty much in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
So when I checked, I was like, I'm halfway done. Like, and we've only barely gotten anywhere.
We didn't really talk about the final fight scene, but the final fight scene, bro, when she does her powers to go like 3-in-1 to save all the girls and then
Oh,
also fight the
uh,
guy. I'm like, bro, where did she learn like how to unlock every single power, bro? Like all of a sudden,
I
I
know.
get she went over there and maybe he gave her some lore or whatever, but bro, she like mastered everything. She's like, oh, I have this ability, and then now I can perfectly know when this is gonna happen. And I saw a scene where the fireworks. So I don't know how we're gonna have that happen, but let's go to the fireworks because something's gonna
Yeah.
happen if we go there. And I was like, this, that's some. I don't know that.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to find excuses to like they find very bad excuses to make things happen. Where they're like, we need her, we really need her to wear these cool red sunglasses at the end of the film. We really need that to happen. So I don't care what happens to her eyes, just have fucking anything hit her eyes, bro, so she can be blind.
Bro, something gotta hit her, bro. I don't know what. Just add it in there,
Yeah,
guys. Add it in post. Yeah, that
exactly.
was.
We need her in a wheelchair by the end of this film. Figure it out.
Was she in a wheelchair because she fell or something? Why was she in a wheelchair? I don't.
Bro, I don't even remember her legs being
I
really injured,
mean,
but
bro, like literally, like she's winning this whole battle, and then freaking because it needed to happen, she just gets hit in the face with a firework. Like I thought you could see into the future, bro. Like you should have seen that coming, and avoided that,
should have seen that coming.
bro.
That's so true.
Like,
You should have seen that shit coming. Come on.
dude, she saw everything but like the one life altering injury. But I get it. It needed to
Yeah.
happen, so it happened,
Yeah. Because really, at the end of the day, you don't even need to be fucking blind to wear those sunglasses.
right?
Like, you could have just
Could have
worn
been
them. If you like them
cool.
that much, just wear
Yeah,
them.
bro. Should have
Yeah.
had her be a fashionista, and that's why she want to wear them, not because. See, we could
Exactly.
have expanded on the character. In Madam Web 2, she could have opened up her own shop. Now she has cool glasses. You know, her
Merchandise.
outfits were pretty clean. She had that long, I don't know what it's called. It's like a jacket that was like red. Like, she was doing her
Yeah.
thing. Nah, bro, they need to put us in the writers table, bro.
For real.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
so much wasted with this, but at the end of the day, when they first announced this movie was gonna come out, I had I'm like that is such a I mean not a minor character, but she's a character who sits in a chair and talks to Spider-Man. Why would you think we need to make a whole movie on her? Like I don't get yeah, Sony just needs to give it up. Give it back to
No, for
Marvel.
real.
You're
Let it
done.
go, bud. It was a good couple
Yeah, let it
years.
go. You
It,
tried. You tried your hardest.
save some money at least. Come on. You're just ruining your
I
reputation,
know.
burning money.
A horrible reputation.
Well, okay. I guess let's. Do you have anything else to say?
Oh, were you gonna figure out a metric for
Yeah,
us? I felt like you had a metric ready to
I
go.
was gonna say, I was just gonna say webs. How many webs do you give it out of 10? If you were to have to
How many
web
webs?
this movie, just web it up. How many how many webs would you give?
How many web squirts would I give this movie? I would give it honestly like I was thinking about this when I was after I finished watching it. I was thinking of giving it a straight up zero,
Zero
like
webs?
zero zero web, maybe one web squirt out of 10 web squirts, and that's it.
Like a faulty web squirt, not even like a fully ready
Yeah,
web squirt. It's,
a premature a premature web squirt. That's
oh
it.
my god.
Nothing more.
You would attempt to give it one, and whatever it gets, it would get.
Yeah, exactly. Because really, I felt nothing, absolutely nothing from this
You
movie.
felt the same before you watched it, and then maybe even less after watching it.
Yeah, exactly. I can't get that hour
Yeah, for time.
or 2 hours back.
You could have been hanging out with your kids, bro, but you had to you
Exactly.
gave it to Madam Web, so you're like, here.
Exactly. I was like, Michael, I know you're dying to spend time with me, but I have to watch Madam Web right now. I'm sorry.
Sorry, son. Go wait
Yeah.
outside.
What about you?
If I had to rate this from Spider Squirts, this is a tough one because like I didn't mind it. There's obviously some goofy things. I probably wouldn't watch it again. I wouldn't recommend it to nobody. I barely remember what happened in the movie. Like if I didn't have my notes, I probably wouldn't have been to remember like half of the things I even talked about. So it's pretty forgettable. Um, I mean, I would
It's hard because you don't want to be harsh for no reason, but you're like, you gave me
just
nothing.
give it like a one web squirt, maybe like just because
Okay.
Adam Scott.
Is that the first time? Is that the first time our scores have been the same?
Yeah, I think so. We're on par, bro. This is a pretty tough movie to watch. It's like
It was. It
at least we
was.
watched it and like we know. So next time we talk to someone about it, we can kind of be like, this is why. But yeah, like it's just
Yep.
I would probably even give it like you know a not a premature web squirt, but just Adam Scott. I liked Adam Scott. I guess that's it. And so like he's the reason I'm giving it a one web script. So that's my reason.
All right.
So that
Good job, Adam Scott. You bring the
that
ratings. You bring the
yeah,
money.
good job Sony on that casting, or else you would have gotten a zero web score. And if you get a zero web score on the first time
Yeah, that's
on first time
crazy.
picture podcast, like your reputation would pretty much be ruined. So
Yep. We all know our reviews.
yeah,
We really
like
determine.
we know our stuff. So you guys,
We set the status quo out here.
yeah. So that was our debrief, our
A little review.
over the 2023 Madam Web movie. So I hear I hear you got something that you want us to watch for the next episode.
All right. I have three
Three.
options, bro.
Okay, I want
Three
hit me with your
options.
one that you're like, this is the one I want to we'll
I
go
wanted
for.
you to watch another horror
Bro,
one. So the
horror?
first
That's what when
one,
you text me horror, I
yeah.
freak.
No, 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 no.
What?
It's sub genre. I promise you, I'm not giving you no paranormal activity stuff. I promise
Okay.
you. If I say horror, it'll only be on the horror of like the thing. Nothing crazy.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. Have did I make you watch the movie Train to Busan?
No.
No. Okay. So, in my honest opinion, This movie, Train to Busan, is the greatest zombie movie ever made.
Zombie movie. Okay. I like me some zombies. I like
Yeah.
Walking Dead.
It's a Korean movie,
Oh,
and I think there's some prevalent Korean actors in it, but I think it just stands on its own. Like it, every single thing that it tries to do in this movie succeeds at like a 10 out of 10 level. Where even if you're not a horror fan, like I showed my wife this movie. She's pretty religious, bro. You know, religious people aren't fans of like witches, zombies, stuff like that. But after this movie, she was like, "Yeah, that was good. Like, you can't deny how good this movie is." So I would love for you to watch that one for the first time.
so Train to Busan. Do I have to watch it in sub?
You do, bro. I
Oh
I,
my,
I think we can't review movies in dub because it's like a different movie. That's a completely different movie.
bro makes me watch the hardest movies, bro. He's like, here, watch this one in black and white. Watch this one in sub. No subtitles. Just feel the emotions and.
I want you to tell me afterwards if it was worth it or not.
Yeah,
Because like at the end of Godzilla, you said you kind of like the black and
yeah,
white,
that grew on me.
So you got to give this one a chance.
Okay, is it like is it on the par of like Parasite kind of like that one's not horror but it's like
Yes,
it's kind of
yes, and
weird.
quality of filmmaking, 100%. And the main character, the guy from Squid Game who recruits the homeless main character, like in episode
Yeah,
one.
yeah, the guy in the suit.
Yeah, he's the main character of this movie.
Oh, okay, okay. When did this movie come out?
Yeah.
Is it old?
This movie came out in 2016, so it's not
Okay,
old.
not too bad.
I mean, it is almost 10, almost 10 years old, but it's definitely a modern film.
All right. Is it on Netflix? What's it on? Server?
I figure it out.
All right.
Honestly, if you don't even if it's nowhere, bro, I'll rent it for you. Like it's so worth
Okay.
it. It's worth $3 to rent. Like I'll sell you the money. I
All
got you.
right. All right. Guess next week's episode is Train to Busan. Busan?
Train to Busan.
Busan.
Yep. Busan.
All right. Hopefully this isn't too scary, bro. Like can't be giving me these horror ones, dude. And it's gonna be the most horror movie thing ever, and then you're gonna be like, like I didn't want you to know it was like really horror, you know?
You don't want me to like pull the rug out from under you.
That would be funny.
I'm trying to be delicate with it, bro. I'm trying to like ease you into some of these movies where you're like you just see the genius.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess we'll see everyone next week with the Train of Busan episode.
All right. Thank you guys for
All
listening.
right, guys. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.